U.S. President Donald Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, is suing special counsel Robert Mueller, alleging the investigation into possible collusion with Russia exceeds Mueller's legal authority. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein and the Department of Justice are also named in the suit. Manafort is facing charges including money laundering as part of Mueller's probe into Russian meddling in the 2016 election. But Manafort's legal team says the alleged offenses have nothing to do with Trump's presidential campaign, and therefore Mueller didn't have the authority to indict Manafort. His lawyers say the accusations stem from lobbying work he did for the former government of the Ukraine, which ended in 2014. The lawsuit asks the court to dismiss the case against Manafort. Mueller's office has not commented. For more insight on this, we're going to bring in Josh Blackman, Associate Professor of Law at Houston College of Law. He joins us from San Diego. Thanks for being with us, Josh.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me, does the suit brought against Mueller actually have any legal legs to stand on?
It's a very strange suit, and let me explain why. Currently, Robert Mueller is under indictment in federal court. The usual approach would be to move to dismiss the indictment. Instead, he's filed a separate civil lawsuit arguing that Mueller's entire investigation is void. That is, Mueller has gone beyond the scope of what he's allowed to investigate, and that the entire process needs to be thrown out. This, though, may not be the final version. I think it's very likely this is just the first entry in this sort of litigation, and we may see more in the weeks and months to come.
So what do you foresee happening then if this matter does end up going forward, this legal case?
What I suspect ultimately is going to happen is that Manafort will argue that the entire nature of Mueller's roving commission is actually unconstitutional. That is, because it's not headed by someone who's politically accountable, it goes too far. And this is something that goes back to Watergate. It goes back to investigations against President Reagan. It goes into the Whitewater investigation against President Clinton, that you need to have political accountability at the head of these prosecutions. And what I suspect Manafort's building up to is that the entire Mueller investigation is itself void.
So the DOJ also named in this case, ultimately then, who's going to be deciding if Mueller is actually overstepping his boundaries in this case?
Well, it creates weird dynamics because Donald Trump, the president, has been calling this a witch hunt for months. Yet now his own government will have to defend Mueller's investigation in court because, as you noted, the DOJ is one of the defendants. This will be resolved by a federal district court judge in Washington, D.C., and I suspect this will almost invariably make its way up to the U.S. Supreme Court in about 2 years or so.
So also named in this case, as I mentioned, was Rosenstein. But when it comes to Mueller and Rosenstein, do they have immunity in any sense?
Well, they're not being sued for any sort of damages or any monetary compensation. What Manafort is seeking is to halt these actions, to make Rosenstein stop this investigation, to make Mueller stop investigating him, to rescind the indictments against him. So there's not immunity in the classical sense. The question is whether Manafort can even bring this suit in the first place, because the relevant regulations that he's challenging say these can't be challenged in court. That will be litigated, but the threshold issue is, can Manafort challenge the sort of authority given to Mueller and this entire investigation? And one other note, if Manafort is successful in this challenge, that means that Trump can go a long way to firing Mueller, which is our ongoing question today. Will he fire him? Will he not? These cases are very closely related to one another.
It'll be very interesting to watch this play out, and we, of course, will. Josh Blackman, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you.